Hello, thank you for joining me for my presentation on impact of inflation on essential goods. My name is Leland Chilson. Eggs are what is considered an essential good as it is a food staple. The average price over the last 10 years for 1 dozen eggs due to the spikes in 2022 and 2025 is $3.30 per dozen. The current price for 1 dozen eggs nationwide average is $3.28. The record high price in the last 10 years was $8.17 per dozen, which occurred March of this year, and the record low price is only $1.20, which was set back in June of 2019. Fluctuations in egg prices by month appear to follow the annual inflation rate, including during the COVID-19 pandemic period from 2021 to 2022, as well as seasonal changes, with one notable exception. This was the result of the 2022 avian flu epidemic, which saw hundreds of millions of birds destroyed as a precaution against the spreading of the disease. As seen from this chart, which is taking the price as of January 30th every single year, there has not been a drastic fluctuation in the average annual price of eggs, except during the pandemic and the avian flu outbreak in 2022, which is still affecting the production, as numbers of birds are still reduced from the pre-pandemic levels. This lowers the availability of the eggs. Inflation, as it relates to the eggs, would cause a leftward shift in the aggregate supply curve due to the increased cost of feed, transportation, and labor, all contributing to the producers not being able to provide a consistently low price. This was experienced during the pandemic when the production of feed was cut due to illness. The decrease is also felt in transportation industry, where the eggs were not able to be delivered with any certainty. This caused a rise in the price. Additionally, this occurred more recently when the avian flu spread to millions of birds, causing the producing animals to decrease, increasing the scarcity of eggs and driving up the price. The impact on aggregate demand, with the increased prices on a staple food like eggs, this left less in the wallets of Americans, causing a ripple effect. Higher food costs led to a decrease in the ability of many families to spend their discretionary money in other places, further depressing the economy. Alternatively, a substitution effect occurs where different possible options are explored. With regard to consumer behavior, the American public was polled to find out what, if any, change in their habits of egg consumption occurred. As you can see from this chart, most chose to either reduce their consumption of eggs, shop around, or buy in bulk, while only a few switched to egg substitutes, went to a local farmer, or even purchased their own birds for egg production. This reduction in purchase would shift the aggregate demand to the left, causing an eventual decrease in price level and affect many other markets like baked goods where eggs are a necessary ingredient. A little bit of inflation is healthy when wages are able to keep up with the cost of living. However, when inflation runs rampant, higher food costs requires cuts to other spending within the household. Lower discretionary money from shifting to prioritize needs over wants reduces the ability to spend on pleasure items and entertainment. Middle and lower income families feel this the hardest as a reduction occurs in their quality of life. And now we can discuss Venezuela's hyperinflation crisis. Traditional meals were decreasing in size and quantity, moving to root-based foods rather than meat, fruit, and vegetables. 9 out of 10 people couldn't afford their daily food. 8.2 million people had 2 meals a day or less. Sources of iron, vitamins, and other nutrients were lacking from people's diets. Additionally, malaria was on the rise in 2018 due to shortages of anti-malarial drugs for all strains of the disease, which was eradicated in 1961 in Venezuela. This has reduced the entire quality of life for many Venezuelans. Thank you for joining me for my presentation on the impact of inflation on essential goods.